Finally made it to Friday. Thank God it's Friday, right? End of the work week. I'm Aaron Glenn, private personal consultant, also advocate for mental health awareness as well. And I like to put positive vibes out into the universe by doing inspiration, daily, day to day motivation to get the day going. Also to look back on the day, reflect in a positive way. I like to read from this book called Enjoying Peace in His Presence, Jesus Calling, written by Sarah Young. Today is September the 19th, 2025, and this is the reading for today. There is a mighty battle going on for control of your mind. Heaven and earth intersect in your mind. The tugs of both spheres influence your thinking. I created you with the capacity to experience foretastes of heaven. When you shout out the world and when you shut out the world in heavenly realms, when you shut out the world and focus on my presence, you can enjoy sitting with me in heavenly realms. This is an incredible privilege reserved for precious ones who belong to me and seek my face. Your greatest strength is your desire to spend time communicating with me. As you concentrate on me, my spirit fills your mind with life and peace. The world exerts a downward pull on your thoughts. Media bump lust and cynicism. When you and discernment, stay in continual communion with me whenever you walk through the wastelands of this world. Refuse to worry, because this form of worldliness will weigh you down and block awareness of my presence. Stay alert, recognizing the battle being weighed against your mind. Look forward to an eternity of of strife-free living reserved in heaven for you. This was a lie. We'll review it in a second. This is the word for today. Today's reading. Hold on. Coming from the book of Ephesians, chapter 2, verses 6. This reading was inspired also by the book of Psalms, chapter 27, verse 8. The book of Romans, chapter 8, verse 6. And last but never the least, the book of First John, chapter 2. Not better. September the 19th. Spending time and enjoying peace in his presence. Oops. And these are the books that this word is inspired from for today. This book it's been through some stuff. I had this for like 4 years now. Actually, 1 year older than Teen Angie is about to be. The 22nd looking to be successful, anybody looking to start a business, any inspiring entrepreneurs, it just takes action to get started. That's it, that's all. Once you get started, you figure things out along the way. But the difference between me and still taking action, I haven't quit. Success is 90% mindset and 10% skills. 10% skills that anybody can gain. What I like to do is help with that mindset, help motivate, cultivate. This is about things, frivolous things, right? 90s babies, cool kids. Why am I sharing this with you? It's because we all want to be successful in life. We all want financial freedom, but nevertheless, we all sometimes are in our own way by our ways of thinking. And what I mean by that is opportunities. It doesn't take some special moment for everything to take place or for things to come about. Miracles do happen. Manifestation is real. Energy is the most important tool and key to that. Wishing without works doesn't make things happen. What I mean by that is it's about aligning yourself, being in that position. You can want something as bad as the next person, but the only reason why you don't have it in somebody else, God adds into us as we add to ourselves. When you pray for something, it's just like, all right, I want this, but I'm not going to do anything about going to get it. Manifestation doesn't work like that. It doesn't at all. I mean, no matter how bad you want something, no matter how bad you do all of these type of gestures and stuff like that, it just don't work. It won't work unless you work it. And what I mean by that is taking action to get started. Greatest basketball player of all time sat there waiting, wanting it, and just trying to manifest it, but that would have never worked. Only thing that did work was him going out there and practicing his craft each day and manifesting the ways to get better. As far as like, okay, if I think about shooting it this way and I actually try shooting it that way, maybe that'll help my jumper get a little better. Or maybe if I come to the rim this way a little bit and release with the left, I can lay up a little better. That's true manifestation, and that's actually putting work into your craft and knowing that you have opportunity to get better. Why was I sharing this? It's a mindset when it comes to being successful. What is success? It's investment. It's investment of your time, skills, and or resources. Resources could be your energy, it could be your money, it could be your intellect. But nevertheless, it's about taking action. Sometimes we just have to look at the world differently. We have to think about the world differently to see exactly how do we fit in and how do we interact and how do we engage. This is one thing I'm showing you guys because this is important with mindset and with engagement. Now, it might not seem like nothing, but it's really everything. Where the mind goes, attention goes as well. And you create more of that, what you focus on. It becomes more of your reality and more of who you are. So we're going to go over a few of these things in the past and why this matters. It'll all add in a bit. But nevertheless, happy Friday. Peace and blessings. Those of you looking to make passive income online, live mentorship, currently running a 90-day challenge. If you guys want to embark on that and challenge yourself to be your best self and end this year strong with a strong finish and in a new position. But check this out. We're going to talk about what is investment and why is it important and what things that you can use to invest to get your own online. And we'll get into that in just a bit. But this right here, man, what type of mindset come with investment? Because 90% of people who are successful are investing. They're investing their time, their energy, and their resources, their skills, or whatever, right? But check this out. Then we're going to get into some things that's always available that you can invest in and that you can spend time making money on, turning your passions into profit. Simple little things, small little things, but nevertheless, what you focus on is the main thing. And I like to focus on finances. I like to focus on investments. I like to focus on creating the experience that I desire. Time, freedom, being able to have desire. It's my art, sources of income, and also memories and moments with my family and friends. But nevertheless, financial freedom overall. And how do you get financial freedom? First of all, you have to be having financial literacy. It doesn't just come overnight. You have to have financial habits that keeps you financially free. Everybody has money coming in and money going out, but what you do with the money is important. That's where financial manifests money all day long, but it's about what you do. When you think about it, you have money every day, all day, every day of the week. But the money don't work for you if you don't have the mindset on what the way to use, what type of energy to put into it, what type of energy to put out. But nevertheless, right, we always have whatever we need. We just don't have the intellect to use these things for us and to actually value away. Money is a tool, just like food and water. These aren't things to just harbor and hold on to. These are things to use and better yourself. You use food for nourishment, you use water for hydration, you use money for options and resources. Financial freedom is just knowing what to do with the money when you have it. Check this out really quick. You might be distracted by it, but nevertheless, these are things that people are doing on a day to day. Sleep on a lot of stuff like this, like Pokemon cards, a little habit that people turn their passions into profit. Little games that they play. This just happened. While people are focused and distracted on a lot of nonsense, separation in these worldly things. That's why I like to start my day off with spending time in His presence. Jesus calls us every morning. He calls us to wake up and be appreciative and start your morning in gratitude. Then you have more to be grateful for. More opportunities come along for you to be grateful. So first and foremost, I always start my day off just being grateful that God woke me up, His presence gave me this gift of experience. I'm experiencing this world in my right mind. I still have dreams and goals that I can achieve. And the marathon continues. But nevertheless, that's how I start my days. And then I start pursuing my passions in life. This just happened, right? September the 12th, a pair of multi-million dollar Pokemon cards was sold for $3 million. One card went for $3 million, which was this card right here, which is crazy, right? You think like, wow, Pokemon cards? That's just one source of income. The ultra rare Pikachu Pokemon for millions on eBay. The rarest card of all time, Pikachu Illustrator, has sold in the eBay auction. People probably never even thought about this, huh? But this is what I really wanted to share. The formerly cool things. It's important to have passions in life. 12 formerly cool things 90 kids, the 90s kids collected because they were all dead in a bag of chips. And you'd be surprised what stuff brought back, right? Like these shirts, cool little glasses that never go out, jean jackets. It's almost time for that again. And begged their parents to buy for them. And 90 kids were no different. I actually grew up through the 90s. Technology wasn't really around. We had computers, but we had to go to the library to use them. We mainly had like gadgets as far as Game Boys, little handheld toys like that, maybe a pager. Cell phone was coming out a little bit later. We basically had each other. We learned how to be people, or whatever you want to call it, however you say it, but we learned how to coexist with each other. We were outside inhabiting the earth with each other, coexisting. We didn't have social media. We were social with each other. It was a sense of community. when I grew up through the 90s. Of course, we had drugs epidemics, and that was really the main thing that we focused on in the 90s as far as a child growing up. We knew what a crackhead looked like and what a crackhead was, and they would break in your house, they would steal from the, just a unruly part of society. Nevertheless, we had a lot of good times. The outside movie thing, the drive through or whatever, I forget what it's called. I've been to it a few times. It just changed a lot of stuff. I see a lot of change in my life. Changes. We had paper food stamps. They wasn't on the cards. We had a little colorful money. That's how you know, like somebody paying for food. Money was just green. We didn't have any blue hundreds, any peach tens, and creamy $50 bills and stuff like that. Um, a lot of things changed. Nevertheless, we didn't have digital money. Prepaid credit cards was just now coming around, and people was iffy about that. And that was the financial move as far as the wealth transfer. It was, and handheld devices, games, toys, or whatever, right? And becoming in people's homes more affordable now in your hand. But anyway, changes are inevitable. And I said that to say this because as far as the wealth, the money, it's changing again, and it's becoming more digital. Why? Kurt, they focus on whatever they focus on, right? The distractions of the world, they're conforming to the world, and when you realize that your minds are aligned with the world, it's something to be concerned about because in a world that's godless, the world doesn't want you to have any type of morals or standards or codes. It doesn't practice the virtues of life and love, patience, kindness, a lot of different things. But anyway, I'm bringing this up because it's time to start thinking about what's really important to think about, and that's where your time is going to. How do you spend your time? What do you really want from this world, and what side are you on? If you don't pick a side, then you're on a side. And what I mean by that is, as far as it's more than just a physical world. That's why I brought up manifestation because we have to learn how to balance those things, this world and the unseen world. When we create, we pulling from the unseen world into this world. So it's really about balancing both. And how do you do that? You spend time with your creator. And for me, my creator is Jesus Christ, God, Lord, and Savior. And I like to spend time getting to know my creator. My creator left the word through the Bible on who he is and what he's about. Learn the mind of Christ. The more I use my eyes to where I see the world and how different Christ thinks about this world and our position in this world. Everything we need is here. We don't have to have the things that we need and want. It just, we really don't have to see opportunities. We like to take advantage of opportunities. And to get rich is always right there. It takes time for these things to manifest. You go get ingredients, you have a dish in mind, but that doesn't mean that this dish is complete until it's fully complete. So therefore, it's manifesting while you putting that work in, and that's why I said what I said in the beginning to run it back and to bring it home. Like putting that work in and wishing and wanting is, it all goes hand in hand. You could be a chef, wish you had these ingredients, want this dish, but into fruition, it isn't going to be manifested until it's actually done and completed. So that's how it works as far as manifestation. Wishing on things and chanting and doing these affirmations, they're nice, they're cool. They get you in that mode, they get you in that feel because we're propelled to act off how we feel majority of the times. That's why what you think about is important because what you think about as far as energy goes, it brings in a feeling to where you want to act on how you feel and start creating reality off of so forth and so on. And life is constant motion. So even what I just read today about that motion is always in the mind and it starts with the mind. That's why success is 90% mindset because how you think of the world, how you see the world is truly important. How you guard your mind is a skill set to be nurtured. Nice people isn't just nice. They practice it every time they have a chance to be mean and therefore that becomes who they are. And what they are, that doesn't mean that that's an easy path for them. Successful people, that doesn't mean that things come to them with ease. They're working for things and after a while continuously doing so because life is about experiences. The more experiences you have and the more you go for those experiences, the more you'll be equipped for those situations. So persistence is key. Consistency is key. Getting started is the ignition overall. You can't build on anything that you don't start. Investment, we'll get back into these other things in a bit because signs and symbols are for the conscious mind, but you can't really be conscious if you don't know what's really important. And what's important about investment, why it's important, I'll give you the mindset on why so you can see opportunities that come through in multiple ways. Uh, Investing is crucial for building wealth, achieving financial goals, and securing a stable future, as it allows your money to grow over time. Key reasons for investing. Number one, wealth creation. What is wealth? Let's get into that for a bit because, I mean, it's important to know what these things mean. And we'll get into how to be wealthy. Wealth is an abundance of valuable possessions or money. Abundance. It can be uh, wealth, it could be problems, it could be anything. And abundance is just a majority. You can have an abundance of lack, abundance of fear. So abundance doesn't always mean wealth, and wealth doesn't always mean abundance. Just to make that clear. And abundance, wealth. What is wealth? Wealth is an abundance of valuable possessions or money. It could be gold, it could be cryptocurrency, it can be real estate, land. Those are valuable possessions. Value, what is value? Assets. An asset, real estate, those are things that we trade of value. I mean, that are assets that have value, that goes up in value or down or whatever. The state of being rich, material prosperity. Some people buy boats and cars to display their wealth. Potential supplies a particular resource. A plentiful supply of particular desirable thing. That's wealth. The definition of. So let's get back into this. What is what is key reasons for investing is a powerful way to grow your wealth over time by purchasing assets such as stocks, bonds, or real estate. You could benefit from their appreciation in value. This growth can significantly enhance your financial situation compared to merely saving money in a bank account, which typically offers lower returns. And I'll show you exactly why this is important as well as stocks. This is the key of financial transfer, the wealth transfer. This is how they're doing it. And I'm going to show you an example. The market's open here on the Eastern or whatever. I'm in the Midwest, but we're on Eastern time here in Michigan. It's kind of weird. Just over the water, we're in Central Standard Time, so it is what it is. But at 9 o'clock here on Eastern Standard Time, the market's open, and I'm gonna show you exactly what I've been doing with these markets and how you can be a part of it as well. I just learned about IPOs. Today, I was waiting to see one of them that I wanted to invest in because it was dropping today. Actually, they just dropped. They gave it a, well, you could say a pre-launch on this app that I use called Robinhood. Links in my bio as well on YouTube. Check it out. $5 free stocks. That's the link. But nevertheless, they gave me an opportunity with everybody who uses these platforms and other platforms as well. These companies, they get on these platforms and they give you opportunity to invest in their company, get a piece of their stocks or whatever. They're basically providing shares to the public. And they're on the market today. They just dropped the price, and we'll go over that in a bit, whatever, right? But let's get back into investing and why it's important and what are five key um, ways to invest. And reasons that investing is important. So number one is about wealth creation. That's why people invest because they know the power of wealth creation and how to create wealth by investing. And also beating inflation. That's why they invest. Inflation erodes the purchasing power of your money. Thing is constantly going up. It's like, wow. The cost of living is crazy because the wages aren't enough to have a living, to make a living. But anyway, right? Inflation erodes the purchasing power of your money. So if you just got money saving and it's not even adding up, which is, it's just not really helping you, you really losing power on that money because now you need it for emergencies. By investing, you could potentially earn return. Your money retains its value over time. This is particularly important for long-term financial planning, such as retirement. Long term, you heard that long-term planning, having a vision. Having a vision is planning. I just shared a plan that I had with you all as far as digital marketing and why I invested in digital marketing. I had a year-long plan and still have that plan, and it's for a long term. Some of these things are not going to happen right away. Over the roadmap to that long-term financial wealth to keep me focused on my tasks. Retirement planning. Investing is essential for building a retirement fund. Relying solely on savings may not provide enough income during retirement. By investing early and consistently, you can take advantage of compound interest, which allows your investments to grow expensive, exponentially over time. I haven't read that word before. Is buying a home, funding education, or starting a business. Investing can help you reach your financial goals faster. The returns from investments can provide the necessary capital to achieve these objects. Financial goals should be working on credit, having a little bit of cushion money for um, emergencies. Those are two good financial goals, in my opinion. Another source of income. Once you have investments that can, balance it out, it's about having financial literacy as well to know how to strategically do some of these things. A practice, and it takes time to learn these things. Let's just say that, right? Wealthy people doesn't become wealthy overnight. It's a habit that they create over time to help them stay in that position, whether they fall or fail or super succeed their own goals. They, would be able to, and over time, they continuously figure out how to manage that experience. Generational wealth. Investing can help create generational wealth, providing financial stability for future generations. This can bridge the wealth gap and offer your children and grandchildren a stronger financial foundation. In conclusion and summary, investing is not just about making money. It's about securing your financial future, achieving your goals, and ensuring that your wealth grows over time. Buying the step up for long-term financial success. Um, some cool things that people invested in, especially like stocks, long ago. A little bit of money to the side that's been working for them that has them become future millionaires or new millionaires or add on to their millions. Beanie Babies was a thing at a time. I'm not sure how much people made off that or if it's still a thing, but I like teddy bears. I'm a little sweet guy. But anyway, yeah, that was a nice little thing that we had back in the day. I love cool, you digs. First little mini little. I think everybody had one of these, and what these kind of was like you have little pets. We was learning responsibility. We was learning compassion. A lot of different things symbolically we were learning. Besides the corruption that was going on, we had somewhat morals and values in the 90s. A lot of that changed with hip hop, rap, and whatever, right? The whole culture that came in. But these things here taught you a lot. Even if you didn't have a physical pet, you'd be in school, like, I feed my little cat, my little dog, whatever it was, you'd be like, all right, I'm going to take it for a walk, go to the bathroom, go take care of your pet in school. You get back to hanging out with your friends and asking them, I'm saying? Stuff like that. This was our little thing. It was a nice thing to have. Pogs. These was our Pokemon cards. You a frisbee these, like, I mean, I don't know what happened to these, but we used to just toss them at people, just hold on to them, like, I don't even know what this stuff was about, but it was pretty dope. We didn't really know what to do with these. Some people did. These was to have little diamond crystals, little nappy heads. You would comb your little thing, just set it down. The eyes was nice to feel. They was nice. Not the prettiest thing to have, but it was all right. Now, I know we all had sisters that played with these. If not, probably seeing your girlfriends at school and kindergarten. You bring my toys. That was my first fight ever at the park. And I fought over a Jasmine toy, Princess Jasmine. I had Aladdin, I had the tiger, and I had Princess Jasmine. When I go home, this boy trying to take my toy home with him. Get that back. And he was scratched. His mom come push me down. Damn, they finna jump me. Then my auntie came. She's like, what the going on? She got on the yeah. But I was like, yeah, you're not running home with my Jasmine. Was serious about them toys. These little things, Furbies. But anyway, these are stocks, future stocks now. Rangers. I'm pretty sure they worth a bag now. BH, this ain't really worth nothing no more. But we used to, man, Blockbuster, Friday night, we get like 3 tapes. Make sure it's rewind. You got to rewind them and stuff like that. That's how we was taught to be courteous. Nowadays it's self, feed yourself, please yourself, fuck everybody else. See, that's the difference between the culture back then and what it is now, and then what it's progressing to. That's why I always speak about mental health awareness, and we be talking about Christ and Christ. This is how this world is so evil and corrupted, and how they want to keep your mind consciously bombarded with bullshit. Let's check out some investments real quick. Because while all that stuff going on, these numbers have been moving. They've been people getting rich off this every other day, especially around this time where everything is starting to go down and So they didn't fulfill my order yet. What I'm waiting on is this IPO right here. Let me just show y'all if they'll do it. I'm not sure what's going on. Wait. So I'm supposed to have one share of this, but I don't know if they opened up yet. So now they at $14. They made me pay $18 because it was between 13 and 15, but to get in it, I had to pay 18. And then they settled that gave me $4 back. And what I did with that was I had I guess it ain't open till 9:30. But I want to show y'all why. Um, I'm not sure why. Wait, hold on. Um, they not live yet. Damn, what the fuck, man?